beauty fam, welcome back to MikiCarrBeauty. Today we are going to do a review of the SUQQU collection that I have on my face. I ended up picking up the 122 quad right here, and then two of the beautiful blushes that I have on my face today. These two beauties, where I'm using one as a blush and the other as a highlighter. And I ended up picking up three of the new treatment lip glosses that they have. This is a new formula of SUQQU. So if you're interested in that content, please keep watching. But before we continue, please consider subscribing if you haven't already, or sharing it with a friend so you can let them know about my channel. And then like and comment below. It helps out my channel and engagement numbers. So with that out of the way, let's begin. I am going to start with a base of foundation. It's the cream foundation. I love this foundation. It's so luxe. Not everyone likes it, but I actually really do love it. So I love this foundation so much that I have it in two colors. I have this in 40 and then 35. And I'm in between. I think 35 is a bit too light for me. So what I'm going to do is combine the colors a little bit. And then it ends up just being this really beautiful color. What some people don't like about this is the packaging. It's luxe packaging, really beautiful. It's curved design here. But again, I know some people really don't like things in jars. So it reminds me a bit of the jar we see in Chantecaille's natural gel foundations. Very similar formula. That is actually, Chantecaille is actually a Japanese formula. I think it's made in Japan. So it's kind of that same aesthetic of a gel. This is a very glowy foundation, and oftentimes I don't have to use a primer. But for the sake of today, I'm going to use a primer because I'm actually doing my makeup because I'm going out later today for a celebration. So I'm grabbing my Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas. I have found that this part clogs, so you have to be careful. I've seen it like just shoot out because it gets stuck. So that's what it looks like. Some foundations I have, I'm definitely going to prime with it. And so let me show you the difference between these foundations. So this side is 35, this side is 40. And you can see it's not very liquidy. It's like I'm holding up at a 90-degree angle and it's not really oozing out that much. It's starting to, but so you can see this one is more of a warm consistency, kind of warm neutral, but this is like much more warm. And I'm just showing these to you because, you know, this is the reason I started my YouTube channel. It was hard for me to find people doing luxury beauty with my skin tone. So I hope this helps, and I'll do a little quick swatch for you. So this is 35. And this is 40. 35, 40. And let me put more here on 35 because it looks a little, there you go. So you can see with my skin tone, again, this is my arm, this outside of my arm, which tends to be warmer because that's what hits the sun. You can see this side is lighter. In my face, when you're a person of color, you usually have multi-dimensions. So you can see this side of my face, the front, is as brighter spots, which will be good for this. But then I also have more shading at the end, which will be good for the deeper parts. So with this foundation, I have found that I can either mix the two and cocktail it to the foundation color I have. But sometimes I just put the lighter one on the inside and then the deeper one on the outside. For today, I'm going to cocktail it. So I'm going to take just a little bit of the 35, just using the end of a clean brush. Just taking 35, and I dipped in there. I'm going to wipe it off. And then take just a smidgen of 40. And I like to cocktail it, just mix it up. And this is what's fun about makeup, is that you just sometimes just mix it to what works for you. So I'm taking the mixture I have and just wiping whatever I have. A little goes a long way. Jumbo base. And I have probably 3 or 4 favorite brushes. This is one of them, but especially with more gel-like creamy foundations, this is a really nice one. So that is a really good match. I'm wearing a V-neck today, so you can see it's like slightly, just a smidge lighter, but I can work with it. I'm just taking the remainder that I have and then using my brush and then going into the areas where I usually have redness or texture, and that's on my cheeks. I did put a smidgen too much. What I want to do is actually take a beauty blender. It's really a wonderful foundation. It really reminds me a lot of the Chantecaille Future Gel Skin Foundation. This I feel like has more coverage, whereas the Chantecaille Gel Foundation, it's more like of a natural finish, and throughout the day it just looks like glowy natural foundation. I definitely panned that foundation, and I haven't bought it again. I think it's one of my favorite foundations, but I just have so many that I want to finish these up. These are at its end of its life because it's almost, I think this shelf life is 12 months. And but here is this beautiful quad. This is the one that resonated most with me. So I ended up getting 2 of the 3 blushes of this collection. I ended up getting this one, 103, and I'll put the name below. And then I ended up getting this one, 105, and the name is below. Really beautiful. I didn't get the 3rd blush because it was orange, and I have about 2 orange blushes from SUQQU already. This is the new formula that they are coming out with. This is the SUQQU Treatment Wrapping Lip, the lip gloss, and I ended up getting the color 05, and then 02, and then 101. This is the limited edition one. And I really should have just gotten 2, but I'm just really curious because SUQQU for me has really wonderfully curated colors. And that's what draws me to SUQQU so much, is that because they're based in Japan, they're going to go for more of an Asian aesthetic of what's popular with that population, but also being a person of Asian descent, these colors are going to resonate with me more. I have a yellow neutral olive undertone depending on the season, and I found that SUQQU works the color stories, especially if they're more pigmented, really complement my skin tone. Let's start with the blushes. Let's do some swatches of the blush. So this is 103. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. And I am so sad. I just saw that SUQQU is discontinuing this melting powder blush formula. It has to do with difficulty in sourcing the raw materials. This is 105, and it's like this lilac purple color. I was going to use this more as a draping or a highlighter. So that is this one here. And this is 103. And not in this video, but I will be doing a different SUQQU video on specifically just their blush collection. I don't have all of them, but since SUQQU is now probably going to discontinue the melting powder blush formula, I was going to do a dedicated video on that. So if I'll link it above at some point, but it'll come after this video. So I'll do comparisons of all the blushes I have in that video. So let me go ahead and swatch this quad here. Again, this is the limited edition one, 122, and that is what the quad looks like, the swatches. Love this purple. So this one could definitely be built up. You can see it's really pretty. And again, that one is really more of a topper shade. So I'm going to start with 101, and I love the doe foot on these. So this really looks light. For a while I'm like, this is nothing, and then I was using it more. You just have to layer it, and there's just kind of like this pink purple sheen the more you build it up. And I do notice it because I've worn it during the day, at night. You just have to build it up. It's very subtle. This is going to be perfect for summer or spring, or it can be layered. And I'm actually going to put some on now just because my lips are so dry. I love the doe foot. There's almost like there's a little bit of a divot there, so it helps collect some of that gloss. And it's almost like there's a milkiness to this one. Again, this is the limited edition one, and once they're gone, they're gone. So I really wanted to pick this one up. So can you see that's a little bit of a pink sheen? It's really, really nice. This has no scent, thank goodness. Okay, so I'm getting 105. It's this color. It was probably the one that looked the most pigmented to me that wasn't on the orange side. There were like 3 that were brown oranges. They were just too orangey for me. So this is a 05. This is a 05. It takes me a while to read the letters on it because my eyesight, my nearsightedness is getting poorer. But there's also, it's in Japanese, so they put two languages on there and it's hard to read. So they'll put English and they'll smash it in with Japanese characters. So this is that one swipe of 05, but I want to show you a second layer of that. I definitely have favorites of all the lip glosses and oils I have. It doesn't have as much opacity as, say, a Lisa Eldridge, but a very beautiful formula nonetheless. It feels like almost like a treatment as well. And I ended up getting, the last one I ended up getting is 02. This is like the brownie taupey color. This one. So 02. And I love brownie, nudie, kind of mauve-y colors, but even just browns. So let's move on and try this Beauty 122. I ended up getting these through Selfridges. I usually email the SUQQU representatives and I'll put their email below. And I ended up attending a little webinar or live video, and they tend to do that. The last three releases, I've contacted the SAs and they're like, you can get on the list and would you like to attend a session so you can see more about the products. This stuff runs out really fast. I have global shipping, so, and I paid that $55 a year because I often purchase things from Selfridge other than SUQQU. So for me, I ended up getting this for free. The package came in maybe 3 days. There is a conversion rate, so just kind of keep that in mind. And then, yeah, so this is kind of true to the SUQQU formula. So usually what will happen is that there'll be a matte shade, a really pigmented shimmer shade, kind of like an inner corner or kind of a lighter shade than the more intense shade. And then there's like a topper, like either a shimmer topper or it's a duo or multi-chrome. Okay, I'm going to grab my Chikuhodo eye brush, the eyeshadow brush. This is squirrel hair. And I'm just kind of curious of this matte shade. We'll see how it fares with this brush and then we'll see. Okay, going into this shade here. Nice. So that's a very subtle color. I was a little afraid it was going to show up. It's kind of like this light terracotta color. It's got some reddish red underpigments, which is nice, so it shows up on me. But I don't want to say it's a red. It's like it's got some brown in it, but it's really great as a crease shade. I love this eyeshadow brush. It's very forgiving. It's great for mattes, and you can use the thicker side to lay down the colors this way, and then I twist it up like this on this pointed edge, and it's just thick enough and soft, and there's enough give that it is really great for a crease brush at the same time. This is one of the best investments I've made. I love this brush. You get what you pay for. It's different than Sonia G. Those Sonia G's are goat hair brushes, and this is squirrel hair, so there's a softness to these brushes. So if you find that even goat hair is too prickly for you, I highly recommend squirrel hair brushes, but particularly this brand, Chikuhodo, or even others. I know the other people are more versed in brushes than me, but I've gotten a couple of squirrel hair brushes also from Wayne Goss, which are the nice budget option, but I have found those to start falling apart. So yeah, it might be good at first, but something about longevity also speaks to the quality of the brushes. A Hakuhodo flat brush. It's a J242, and I've been grabbing these Hakuhodo brushes just even more than my Sonia G. And the J series, what I believe is that it's a mix of goat hair and synthetic, but they're super soft. And they actually lay down color so much nicer in some ways. So I'm grabbing this super light shade because I just want to show you that you can do just a couple different looks with such a simple palette. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like with two of the colors. So if you want something simple, just this shade and that one right here, it can be made really simple, easy look. And that could be it. That could be it. And some days I've actually just grabbed one or two of these shades because they're so easy to use. And is it like have a huge wow factor like a Pat McGrath? No. So just so you know, if you're new to SUQQU, these might not be your jam. These are very much like the Japanese aesthetic and formula. They remind me a lot of Sriracha shadows. So very soft, but you can build them up, but they're not going to be like super pigment and dramatic like Natasha Denona or Pat McGrath. Okay, so that is one look right there with that. It's just the two colors, this one and this one. So I'm grabbing a builder brush, the Lotus series for Sonia G. I'm taking the clean side of my builder and going into that purple shade. It's pretty pigmented. And I'm just going to pat it down. Pretty. So in this video, because this is the first impressions, I want to see how the shadows lay. What I have found with SUQQU is that if I want a more dramatic look, what I can do is actually put down some Pat McGrath Intensifies 1. But I'm not going to do that for this time because I want to see how the pigments wear. Okay, so I'm going back into this pigment here, this matte one, and then grabbing a Hakuhodo. It doesn't have a number. I just call this like my outer V brush because it's like this. You can see it there. Just picking up more of that pigment and depositing it here. And the thing about SUQQU is that you don't want to blend too much. I mean, you can, but I found for me it's best to just pat and then slowly build. These are it's like a very buildable shadow formula. And then going in back into this shade here and just popping that on the inner corner. Take my Sonia G soft definer, this one here, and taking this color here, the matte, and just connecting the two, bringing it down. Taking my flat definer by Sonia G and going into that purple shade, shaking some of the excess off, and then just going in on the lower lid with that purple just to add some dimension, and actually going over just as if it was a liner. And then the last thing I'll do is I don't want to take a brush because I found it's best to just layer these toppers. So this one, I'm just going to lay it over and then see what happens. I'm not going to put it entirely over that purple because I don't want it to wash out. I'm putting it more in the center. Okay, so I'm going to move it a little bit towards the center, but not on the outer third. Again, I'm just tapping it in, going back, tapping it in. Even though it's green, because it's layered on top of the purple, it's almost, it's creating a blue shift. Okay. Pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna finish the other eye and then come back. So I finished the eye look. I think it came together really nicely. So I actually used a new eyeliner, Crush Liner YSL Stilo Eyeliner Waterproof. I'm trying to find my perfect purple. That's actually really nice. So use that on the top to wing it out and a little bit on the bottom. MAC Giga Black on the bottom lashes and a sample Volume de Chanel mascara, which I'm going to chuck because it's getting really messy and everywhere. And then for my eyebrows, I finished with the Tom Ford Brow Sculptor in 03 Chestnut. and then finish with the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel in the color 04 Espresso. And that is what the eye look looks like. And I actually am kind of wear testing. I didn't want to do a first impressions of this product, but I'm wear testing the new Tom Ford concealer, and I have it in 3W1 Golden. It's this one. It's a new product, and I'm wear testing it, and I have comparisons with other cream products, cream concealers I have. So that is what is under my eye here, and it's not powder down because I'm wear testing. I'm trying to see if I can just use it without using the powder. I zoomed in so you could see the eye look, and I'll close my eyes so you can see. Really beautiful contrast. What I've seen on the Japanese Instagrams is that the aesthetics of SUQQU are not as dramatic as how I use it. I definitely do my makeup in a more Western style. So what I have found a lot of Japanese and Asian creators will do are just really light swatches, swaths of color, very subtle, maybe 2 or 3, and just very not dramatic. But that's just not my aesthetic. I have hooded eyelids, so I like to take advantage of what I have here. And I'll close my eyes so you can see. So I used that matte in my crease shade, purple on majority of the lid, and that topper, which is green. It's so interesting because it's color theory. When you mix purple and green, it's just going to turn blue. But it's this shimmer shade, and I'm actually going to put a little bit more just so you can see. Just, it's such a beautiful topper. Yep, and then some of that matte color at the bottom, and then lining it a little bit with this. And then this shade, the lightest one, I ended up putting on my brow bone in the inner corner. And I could put a little bit more. And actually, let me put a little bit more here. It's a kind of like beigey yellow gold. It's got a yellow hint to it. Okay, so that is the eye look. I think it's beautiful. It came together. I'm gonna zoom out. I actually think it's a really beautiful color. I'm so glad I got this quad. I was not interested in the other ones, and I just know what my aesthetic is and what's in my collection, so I didn't want to duplicate the shadows that I have already. So I'm really happy with it. It performs pretty similarly to the formula of what is come to be expected of SUQQU. So there was no quality issues on any of these. Sometimes with, and I'm just putting a little bit more of that matte to just emphasize the crease. Sometimes with what I have found, the most inconsistent palettes for me, quality-wise, are usually either the holiday or the pre-holiday quads. This melting powder blush formula is hands down my favorite, and I'm like crushed they're getting rid of it because of raw material issues. I just think it's my favorite formula on the market right now. The closest I could think would be the Gucci blush formula, and it's pigmented, but then there's almost like an iridescence to it, but there's something that's even smoother and more effortless, and the color curation is even better with SUQQU. I'm grabbing my cheek brush Chikuhodo, going with the theme of Japanese brushes since we are using a Japanese brand. And again, here is the SUQQU melting powder blush in 103, and the color is Nareshiko Kazome. Excuse my Japanese. I'm just trying my best. Okay, so I am taking this brush. It's a Chikuhodo cheek brush squirrel hair. And then I'm going to go in pretty lightly with this. And the thing to note, I actually have not powdered down my face. Ew, it's such a pretty pink color. Can you see it almost blurs? And this is, actually I'm glad I didn't powder down my face. You can just see how wonderful this formula is. And what I'm going to do because of this video, it's sometimes what happens with filming and lighting is that it doesn't show up exactly how it looks in real life. So in real life, I'm actually a smidge deeper because I do natural light as much as possible, so I have a sunny day. But with natural light, sometimes it blows out color, so including my skin tone. So I'm actually a little bit deeper than this, what you're seeing today, and the color is actually much more rich in real life. So I'm just gonna go back and over blush so you can really see what this color looks like. I hope that helps. Okay, so it turned down a ring light I had over here. Otherwise, there's a big window here. But you can just see, let me see if I can bring it in. So that is the blush on that side. So pretty. And I'm a person who worries about texture. And there's something about this formula, it's such a shame. It's almost like it's blurring at the same time. I don't know if you can see that on camera. I have so much texture here on my face. I get really self-conscious about it. But this melting powder blush formula is so beautiful on so many levels. Blurring, but there's almost an iridescence to it. It's not shimmer. Geez, I don't even know if these are in stock anymore. I would say if these are in stock, I'll look below. So I put my affiliate links below, you know, no pressure to use them. But if you would love to, that'd be great. It helps me support my channel so I can keep buying these products to review. It's such a beautiful color. I'm so happy I got this. I would say don't sleep on this color if it's still available. So this is the limited edition 103. This is 02, the Haru Oto, the pink one. This is definitely cooler. And then I'm going to show you 03 Koi Meguri, the coral one. And it almost looks like in between, like a baby. If it had a baby, here, actually, let me put it that way. You can actually see. So the first one is the coral 03. And then there's the middle one is 103. And then 02, the pink. I'll put it on its side so you can see a bit of the sheen. 03, the coral one, in the middle one is 103, and then this one here is 02, Haru Oto, the pink one. So yeah, the pink one, Haru Oto, is definitely more cool leaning, and it's like in between that 103. Definitely the coral one is definitely more orangey. That's my favorite one. I love the 02 and 03. Those are like hands down my favorite. That is the blush 103. And then here is the limited edition 105, the cool one. Okay, so I'm going to use this cool one now and see if I can use that as a highlighter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually clean off my Surratt brush. This is a squirrel hair brush, I believe. Surratt, this is actually meant to be like the large eyeshadow brush. I actually don't like to use it for my eyes because I have, look how big that is. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this 105. Again, it's this color here. And I know that they had said, the SUQQU rep had said that you can use this as draping. For people, if you're super fair, light-skinned porcelain, you can use this as a blush. Obviously, it's not gonna work for me. I'm going to use this as a highlighter. So I'm just gonna put that over here. Ooh. Wiping it down. And what I'm going to do is just kind of buff those together. It's a little bit more seamless. This is what's so great about these squirrel hair brushes. They're so soft. So pretty. And that just like buffed everything together to make it more seamless. So pretty. So happy I got these two products. Again, my favorite formula, the melting powder blushes, and I'm so sad they're discontinuing them. I'm gonna get all of them if I can. You already saw me put the SUQQU Treatment Wrapping Lip Product 101. And again, this is meant to be, you can see it in the container, the mechanism. So some of you saw what my lips are looking like before. I definitely have pigment down. And so because of that, it definitely changes depending on what you have, if you have pigment. Since I have pigment already, some of the color is changing. And that's going to be more like a reddish pink. So I already have one layer on, and then I'm going to put another layer. So this is like the second or third layer. I've been talking, so you can just see how it's wearing. I think it's really beautiful. I think this could be used by itself, like I'm doing it now. In real life, I'm seeing because I added a second, third layer, it definitely looks kind of like a berry pink a little bit, because there's a little bit of purple flecks in there. And I think it's quite lovely. I'm excited to use this more in the spring and the summer. I'm just so happy with this collection. I'm glad I picked the colors I did. The Treatment Wrapping Lip Gloss in 101. Okay, so I took that lip gloss off the 101 so you can see what my natural pigment looks like. I'm going to use the color 02. It's definitely more brown. I had to go in a second time. It's just that my lips are actually pretty large. So I think I would definitely have to go in twice to do one layer. So that is one layer of the color 02. Really beautiful. I think because I already have pigment there, it looks kind of like of a natural brown, because it does have, it is brown. What I'm going to do is like a second application so you can see, going in a second time. Okay, so that is a second application of 02, the brown one. Really beautiful. I'm so glad I got this one. It reminds me a little bit of Sorcery Maybe Affair. And the last lip gloss for the SUQQU Treatment Wrapping Lip is the color 05. Okay, that is what one application looks like. And then going in a second time just so you can see how the pigment can be built up. Okay, and that is the color with 2 layers. I think the eyeshadow is beautiful. These colors are my jam. I'm really excited to try this by itself and then this by itself. These colors are okay. I mean, you need in every quad or quint or whatever, some like grounding shades. I think this is a really nice grounding shades. Even this and this could be fine together. It looks green in the pan, but it's a shimmer shade, so it's not going to really show up as green. It's going to be really dependent on what you lay it over. So even with this matte color, which is not super heavy, how this green one is going to interact is going to be even different. So it just, you see, it doesn't turn even green. It just makes it a shimmer. And that alone, and this is what I meant with SUQQU, I find that, yes, I used all of the colors on my eyes today just to show it to you, but I've often gone into my SUQQU quads and used just 2 colors. And because it's one of these, the formula is meant to be layered, it comes up with really beautiful looks. So I don't think I'm really, most of the time I'm not disappointed in SUQQU quads. If I'm disappointed, it's because the color story is for me and I just skip it. But there's been the ones I pick, I'm always usually like really happy about. That's not the case for things like Chanel. Like the Tweets collection, they're all pretty, but for the price we paid, it was a bit of a disappointment. So SUQQU I'm always happy with because I know how to work with that aesthetic, and I love Dior Quince as well. So let's move to the blushes. The blushes. I love this blush formula. I think this is my favorite thing about SUQQU is the blush formula. And I'm not going to be dramatic and say I'm devastated, but I'm really, really sad that they're not continuing on with this melting powder blush formula. I think it's the best in the market, and it's a shame they can't source the raw materials for it anymore. So if you can get your hands on the melting powder blush before the end of the year, which colors you're interested, I would not sleep on it. So I would recommend getting those. I think these are beautiful colors. If you're a deeper than me, a deeper skin beauty, this color, if you can get it still, this is the 105. This will be such an awesome highlighter. Yeah, it can be. So I'm actually taking some of you can see it now, because it's got this iridescence being pink lilac. Oh, it's so pretty. Do you see that? So pretty. I'm gonna actually put some up here too. Love it. Okay, so yeah, I'm just so excited. These two, like the standout, I love them even more than the eyeshadow. If you can get any of these, I would say don't sleep on the eyeshadow. And the lip products, I'm happy to get them. So the lip products, let's talk about the lip product. Okay, so I'm gonna read a little bit from the website. Treatment wrapping lip. Care for your lips while achieving the beautiful color and gloss of bare lips. So it's meant to be a little bit more maybe not with big opacity, but you saw me with 2. I wouldn't say that don't build up more than 2, because then it's going to start to get goopy. This formula is quite lovely. A new product that combines care, color, and shine. Comes in 5 shades. Actually more than 5. A beautifully enhancing tinted gloss that gorgeously envelops your lips with a moisture locking film, just like a lip balm. The advanced technology of wrapping wax spreads smoothly on the surface of the lips with a uniquely soft texture. I would say yes, it's definitely very soft, not goopy at all. The lightweight yet rich formula includes a unique blend of wax, jelly polymers, and creates a firm, thick film with a pliable texture, giving the lips a voluptuous look. And I would say that's true. I am seeing this is available still at Everglow Cosmetics for $41. So let's talk about this. I don't want to go too much because I wanted to actually do another video on it. So it doesn't have as much opacity as, say, a Lisa Eldridge Embrace Gloss lip gloss. I do actually enjoy the doe foot more than Lisa Eldridge, because I don't know if you can see it. There's a divot in this doe foot that actually deposits more product on it. But where it's different is that when you open one Lisa Eldridge thing, it's really it's a bigger doe foot. It's not as soft, but it picks up so much product that some people like or don't like. I've actually just gone one swipe with this, and I have really full lips. Whereas because this is a smaller doe foot, I have to go in twice. Once for the bottom and once for the top. With this, I just pull it out, and then it's enough. With one swipe, it's enough. But this is really goopy. I think this is where people don't like that. It ends up kind of getting messy. That doesn't bother me so much because it doesn't get on me. It stays on the product. It's definitely thinner. It's a thinner product than Lisa Eldridge. But there's more pigment in the Lisa Eldridge. I do actually like that it's thinner, because it almost feels like one step above the Dior lip oil. So the lip oil is pretty thick, and it feels like the next step would be this. So this is not a lip oil, but a gloss, but it's not goopy. I have some of the Pat McGrath glosses. These have a scent usually, and they're definitely really thick. So it's not like that at all. It's definitely a thinner formula. And again, I've been trying these all week. I just didn't have time to film a video, and I'm just getting a chance to do it now. I've actually been using these glosses all week, and my lips have been so much more hydrated. So I'm in the middle of winter here. We're starting to get into spring, but my lips have been chapped for a good month, and I started using these this week, and my lips are no longer chapped. So it wear down in terms of the color. I mean, it does wear down. You're gonna have to reapply it because it's a gloss, but in terms of nourishment, it's been really great. So I've been grabbing actually this one because it's pretty clear, and I'll just put it on, and it's great. I have basically can justify it. Whoever's on a low buy skincare lip treatment and it's not a gloss, it really does. It has helped nourish my lips, much like the Lisa Eldridge glosses. I also have found these to be like really almost like a treatment for my lips. So I've definitely been grabbing this. They used to be Lisa Eldridge all the time, but I've been grabbing these more. But I'm not gonna say which one is better because I'm gonna do a review on that. I do like this color. I think it's beautiful. I like all three of the colors I chose. That's it, beauty fam. I hope you found this review helpful and enjoyable, and thanks for hanging out with me. And if you would be so inclined, I would love it if you join the MikiCarrBeauty fam or share this video. So click the subscribe button or share this with a friend. Tell them to subscribe if they would love to see content like this. And then give me a thumbs up and comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. What do you think of this look? What do you think of this gloss? This highlight, it's beautiful. This blush, this eye look. Let me know what you think. What collections are you looking forward to this spring and summer? And yes, thanks for hanging out with me, beauty fam. And as always, please be very kind to your other. And as always, please be very kind to others and just be you. Until the next video, take care, beauty fam. Bye.